Okay, so I'm going to introduce this project. You're going to be designing and building an airplane, kind of like this. Okay, doesn't have to be exactly like this. In fact, I hope we get quite a few different designs. It's going to have a propeller I'm going to give you. It's going to be rubber band powered. So you wind up the rubber band, and of course from there it'll unwind and turn the propeller, and that's going to give it the forward thrust. And you're going to have to design all these bits and pieces, okay? And we're going to cut them out of a lightweight wood called Balsa. And then this material on top is just tissue paper, like the kind you'd get wrap a birthday present in or something like that. I've got bunches and bunches of it. And it's all just put together with Elmer's glue. You can see the detail that went into some of these trusses, okay? And I'm going to kind of give you an idea how to make it. But before I do that, I'm going to explain a couple of things about an airplane and how you're going to have to design it. So let me minimize this screen here. And let's go to here. All right. So if you don't know how an airplane wing works, it's by changes in pressure. Okay. So if I have a wing with a shape somewhat like this, which is similar to the design that I have on my airplane, you can see that the air has to travel further across this curve than it does from going this direction. So that causes a change in pressure. You're going to have a low pressure on this side and a higher pressure on this side. That low pressure is going to give it some lift. So as long as air is moving across the wing and splitting it from top to bottom, we're going to end up with a high pressure and a low pressure. And we're going to then change the behavior, and the wing is going to generate lift as long as it's moving. Okay? And you can see there's lots and lots of different styles, but all of them, well, not all of them, most all of them have a similar structure to what you're going to be building. This one's actually super elaborate, but they're all going to have this sort of basic aerodynamic shape that you're going to work with. Now this is a little different than mine. Okay, that one of course is rather classic, and maybe you're going to want to follow something like that. I'll show you how to do it. So let me open up, for example, this is OnShape, and here you can see the glider that I've built. It's actually the one I just showed you. It works fairly well. I'm not going to give you this exact parts because I want you guys to show some creativity and design changes. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to give you this propeller, and I'll have that already drawn and masked. So therefore, when you import it into your design, you'll be able to use it as it is. But if we look at this, one of the cool things we can do is we can now take, and once you've drawn the parts, we can add a material to it, so we can tell the software that this is actually made of balsa wood. And from there, we can do something like this, where we can actually then calculate out, for example, the center of gravity. So you can see the center of gravity is right here on this particular one, which is about where you want it to be. You want it in the near center of the wing, so the plane will lift up uniformly like this. But keep in mind that as I design my plane, there's nothing stopping me from changing some of its design characteristics and testing it in a number of different ways. So I'll put that there, and maybe I'll move this up, kind of give you an idea. We'll put it right there. Okay. So now if I look at everything, you can see that my center of gravity will have changed. And now it's more forward of the wing. Let's just get crazy. Let's go ahead and put it, I'm going to put this way in the back where it was. And I'm going to put this kind of far back so we can see its behavior. So now you can see I've got the wing way in the back, and we'll pull this up and we'll find out our center of gravity is now right in front of the wing. Okay, so this is probably not an ideal design, and you can see what it would look like. Although, who knows, maybe it would actually fly. All right, this does not have a lot of mass, so you know this may be favorable for you. But nonetheless, this is what you're going to work with. All you have to do is draw a couple of parts. If we look at it, I'll show you the parts that I drew. Alright, so the only parts you really need are for the tail. You're going to need two parts. One part is going to be the one that mounts to the center, okay? Because I need a flat area here to glue it on. Alright, let me make that big so you can sort of see it. Alright, so that one right there is bigger than the one on the outer edge because I need something to glue onto the body. So that one's flat and this one's hollowed out to reduce its mass. Same thing here with the wing. You can see that this one, it goes all the way across and it's solid, alright, so I can glue it onto the body. But these other struts are hollowed out, alright, so they don't have much mass. And then of course the surface is just on the top. So, that being said, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a second video and I'm going to show you approximately how to do this. I'm not going to give you my design because I don't want a bunch of airplanes that are all the same. Ultimately, what we're going to do is we're all going to build an airplane and we're going to go into the alumni gym and somebody's going to be there with a stopwatch and we're going to fly those airplanes, and the airplane that remains in the air the longest will be the winner. Okay? It'll be a challenge. This will probably be one of the hardest things that you've ever assembled if you haven't built too much on your own, because so much can go wrong. It'll be actually lots of fun to see how everybody works out. So that being said, I'm going to end this sort of introduction video, and then on my next video I'm going to show you roughly how to draw something like this, and we'll just build it from there. So I will see you guys shortly.